we're gonna start with Secret Invasion
we
first.
Are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ian brought notes for the first time, so
Yeah,
maybe you want to start off with that, because I guess I'll say before we get into spoiler territory. This show
Big
really shit the fucking bed.
Yeah.
And I know, like, most of the episodes beforehand are generally around like a 5 or a 6. Maybe some like around a 7.
A couple times we get to a 7.
You know? So it's not like by any means like it's a terribly made show or it's horrible. It's just it's always for me it's been just a really flat.
I do think on a second watch it would be worse though. I can but this finale just really was frustrating, really did some things that really annoyed me, and every wrong turn.
It did. It really did. It did a lot of things that I think is what people complain about with superhero material in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one show or property that they really didn't, and nobody was going for what they ended up doing. Like nobody went into this show wanting what they did.
Yeah.
But they still did it. Which I know we're being vague, but
I
was
guess
just very unsatisfying.
I guess
and
we
very
can go
frustrating.
into spoilers now, though.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, that's how Ian probably feels too.
We're feeling the exact same way.
Yeah,
we're going to be on the same page in this review here. But yeah, so this one kind of started off. At least the first major thing I can think of is Rhodey is like super aggressive with the president at the very start.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, "Yo, we gotta." I mean, I've already written up this thing you can say, and you know this is gonna like cause the end of all of this. If you bomb New Skrullos, then it's over. And he's just so aggressive about it, where it's just like it's so obvious that he's like a mole, you know, or like he's a saboteur.
Yeah,
and so that is a pretty rough first start.
Also, no, he's the president of the United States.
Yeah,
and you have, I don't know, 5, 6, Secret Service guys. Just also, not that like I know it's TV, but like, excuse me, and not that it's not like you wouldn't do that, but if it's the president of the United States, you are not having just Secret Service men wheeling him around the hospital into an elevator, complete like there was that. I was like, wait, like as somebody who first like worked in healthcare, like I was like, okay, obviously that's ridiculous. But even as somebody who I just think as a regular viewer, you're like, I've heard other people just be like, what?
But like, as soon as that even started happening, like you knew where it was going. Like Sonya, like you knew she was fooling Rhodey, and you knew that they were. Oh my gosh! Apologies, everyone. So sorry. But you knew that like you knew how the plan was going to unfold. Like they were gonna catch Rhodey and the president, and they were I don't know. I confront them. I don't know. It just felt very base level planning, and not great planning at
predictable.
That. Yeah. But I guess this was supposed to fool us, by us, by them throwing Nick Fury at Gravik. We're like, oh, well, maybe he won't show up at the hospital. But man, and maybe that's the best thing of this finale is that Gravik scene.
Yes.
Where because he has a great monologue.
Yeah,
he really does,
and he acts it really well.
He does.
Like it's really intense, and I really like it.
But I mean, Samuel Jackson doesn't really match him.
No. Okay. See, cool. Like also, like he really and I heard people say like, well, that's because it was Gaia the whole time of the like, and I was like,
mean, that's the only excuse.
Come on, like he's so not in that scene at all. Yeah. But the other thing before that I found ridiculous is even though it is Gaia who's pretending to be Nick Fury, why on earth would Nick Fury just willingly go into a completely radiated area, unprotected, like nothing? You know you're gonna die. You know you're not gonna be able to do anything. Like I was watching who I thought was
Nick Fury, right?
Coughing and obviously like doing horrible.
Hey, Guy's a good actor.
Sure.
I mean, at least for that.
At least for that, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I'm like, why? Like I was like, why are you going in there? Like if you have all these secret, and you have technology to fucking hide your face, you tell me you can't get any sort of thing that could like protect you. If you're really serious about stopping this thing, you're gonna go in and maybe die by the time you even get to Gravik.
Yeah,
like it's just like, what was I supposed to feel in that moment? Like, oh, Nick's really stupid? Like he's so determined. He was gonna give his life. I didn't feel that at all. I was like, why are you fucking doing that?
Yeah. I feel it. It almost makes it obvious that it's not him. Looking back on it, but I mean, I don't know. There's just so much logic it's just thrown out the window in this. Like, first off, in the monologue, Nick's response is, well, after a few years, we knew we couldn't find any planet for you guys. And I'm like, the logic behind that alone is just baffling, because we know in the MCU there's like tons of planets out there. To name a couple, we have Titan. We have the planet that Thanos was on at the end. No.
Oh yeah.
At the end of End, or at the beginning of Endgame.
You're right. Yeah.
And I'm just like, those are both abandoned planets that Thanos could just live on.
Unless you want to say they're uninhabitable for Skrulls, which
doesn't make sense.
There's no reason
because Steve Rogers. Well, I guess he's a super soldier. Was there anyone normal?
But like, yeah. I mean, excuse me. Like, especially in this universe, there's no world.
Right. It's
and
so
then
dumb.
You didn't tell anybody. Like,
and also, like, maybe just once in the show mention that it's also Captain Marvel's fault. Like, maybe just like, I don't know. I feel like she's a pretty huge part of this, right?
Yeah, they could have brought her into it somehow,
right? But yeah, basically, they throw logic again out the window, and Gravik just is like so confident that Fury won't get powers that he's just like, I'll just turn on the machine with you in it.
What was that?
I don't know. For some reason, they calculated that, which is like so dumb. But I don't know.
Like, even like because that's the other thing. Like, did Gaia get all those powers beforehand? Which I would guess, yeah. But like,
no.
Was it?
It was at that point.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because I guess she just got like the couple that was. But yeah, like, why wouldn't it affect both of them? And if your goal was to kill him, and now he has those same powers, you've now
maybe
made
he's thinking it only works on Skrulls. I guess maybe that's it. It's a Skrull machine. I don't know.
We shouldn't have to like try to come up with excuses.
I feel you.
Because that was so dumb. That was literally so. Like, why wouldn't you like throw him out?
Sure. And then just
killed him.
Yeah.
You also didn't even need to you could have just killed him and then done it.
Sure.
Why? But it's because we had to get this fucking superhero fight, which is, I mean, it's
maybe one of the worst things I've ever seen in the MCU.
I didn't care about any of it.
Well, I mean, it's two characters. Well, I guess I kind of care about them.
And also, before you even find out that it's Gaia, when you were like there was a bit of me that was going, oh God, you gave Nick Fury superpowers?
Oh, yeah, that was. I'm so happy that it wasn't him.
I will say, yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm glad you didn't get him.
I was like, in the moment, I was like, no, please don't do this. Yeah, and even then, like, it didn't turn into anything good.
No.
It was
also Nick Fury would have been the most powerful being in the MCU. Besides,
and now Gaia is, but
and now Gaia is. What is the point of, besides that she doesn't really have an allegiance or like wants to help the world, she just wants to help her people. Like you could say, well, we can't really rely on her to save the world. But at this point, like if she was, You wouldn't need the rest of the MCU. You would need nobody. You just be like, hey, guy, can you fix this? Oh, yeah, I got you.
I mean, there has to be some serious nerfing that goes on in like the next project she's in.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she has like, Captain Marvel's already the most powerful being in this universe. And then, or at least the most powerful superhero. And then you just add like 10 other powers on top of that.
I mean, like everyone's powers.
Yeah. And
not just Avengers.
No, villains. Yeah, Ebony Maw and those like what were those like monster type things in Infinity War that Thanos used for his army in the end battle?
The Qatar.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chitauri.
Those were there.
Cole Obsidian, which was that big guy.
Yep.
Literally, Hulk. I'm sorry, the Hulk.
Yeah.
And Captain Marvel, and what else? I mean, Thor. What? The power of Thor? And that's just what, 3 beings?
Yeah, and then you also
have like a shit ton. And also, what's the point of Winter Soldier? What's the point of Captain America?
Right, there's like 4 or 5 super soldiers they like drag into this, and you're like, just pick one. Just pick one.
What? I mean, and they, no training required. Just knows how to do it.
She just knows how to use Mantis's powers. She knows how to use Ghost's powers.
Ghost wasn't even there. How did they get that?
Yeah, I don't. Good question, man. I have no idea.
But
good Lord,
and it's also so frustrating because it's like they never even explained why they made that fucking thing.
They just needed some mega backup plan. I don't know.
Like that pissed me off too because I was like, if they don't explain why they made this. It was to make Gaia the most powerful. Why did we have this thing?
Yeah, like why would Nick commission those scrolls to go clean up the battlefield if he didn't have some larger purpose for it? I don't know. It's I mean, and on top of all that, you have just awful CGI, just like some of the worst. Like compared to the budget that we know the show had, it's like inexcusable, genuinely.
I don't know. I guess people said that, but I don't. Maybe I have to watch it again.
It's so bad, Zach. And like,
because I don't know. I guess it didn't bother me, but I was already like upset. So,
but like, and there's even just bad logic there. Like why would Drax's tattoos be on her arm? Why would Ebony Maw's rings be on the hand? Okay,
well, I will give that
his rings.
Look, I'll give here. This is why I'll give it a pass because we would, as audience members, we would not know that. I don't think we would necessarily know that that's going on. It's like a visual indicator that they're using that power. So I think give that a bit of a pass.
Use like 3 or 4, maybe 3 or 4 at the most superheroes, and just have them be the recognizable ones. Don't do the stupid crap.
Sure, but do you know how like the original like Super Scroll like story went down and what it originally was?
No,
it was that the Skrulls wanted like they could never like beat the Fantastic Four, and so one of them got like all the powers of the Fantastic Four.
There you go.
In like Rise of the Silver Surfer, how they all like Johnny Storm and all of them to, and then that's basically like it's like a callback. But you're on fire. You have rocky skin. You turn invisible. You have long arms.
Yeah.
You know who those people are, and it was just those 4. This is everybody.
It's just it was just for visuals and like I don't know, just for fan hype or just
who likes it. Who liked it? I don't. I'd love to talk to them.
And I'm so
not that's if you like it. I'm not shit like I just don't like it.
I
would be curious as to why you like it
because
and that would be an interesting conversation.
It's upsetting because like Kevin Feige is the one who pushed this end fight to happen.
Really?
Yeah. He was like there was like a list of 3 things he wanted in the show to happen, which was that Rhodey doesn't have his legs, like he can't use his legs at the end of the show. Nick Fury's back in space, and he wanted to have a Super Skrull fight. So I'm like, this is Kevin Feige's fault. All of this to me, because you pushed for something that was so far from like the original Secret Invasion story and just wanted
which
this,
is fine.
Sure, but you molded it into this.
I don't even know.
I don't know. It's like it was a Nick Fury showcase without a ton of depth on Nick Fury.
Yeah,
really. Almost any. Yeah, and
which I feel validated that my complaint at the beginning of the show, which was exactly that. I don't think that we're getting that they just dropped us into it, and we didn't get anything.
Right,
and then I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I didn't get any of that. I knew it, like I just felt it. And also before we move on to other things.
I still have some more to say.
I know. But like I want to make sure we were able to talk about your stuff. And the world, even though, they're not in World War III anymore, there's not that verge of nuclear apocalypse.
Right. It's in a worse state.
It is in a worse state. Nothing is resolved.
Well, I mean, Gravik's dead, which I want to talk about that. But
this if this was a regular TV show, you kill Gravik episode 6, episode 7. You still have this whole other thing that needs to be resolved. This is not like a cool cliffhanger.
No, this is like the world's in chaos, and I'm just gonna go back to space.
And you have people being vigilantes, killing other people who they think are Skrulls. And you're like, I'll fuck off the space. Which is
a much cooler concept than what we got in the show.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it also, again, like I don't have an issue with it. Like I think it's cool. Like I think it's interesting to be like, because that's kind of like I feel like a commentary on things that have actually happened in
that's what they were
our
going
world.
For. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. But oh my God, it was so rushed and so like, is this really where we're leaving the state of things?
A minute-long montage where the president spoke, which was also dumb. But like first I want to get into these two deaths that happened. I think they're both so lame. Both, like, one, Gravik he's just shot by a Captain Marvel beam.
Yeah.
And you're like,
doesn't he have the extremist thing?
Yeah, right. It's so there's no reason he should be.
Is it like once you shoot his heart and
it wasn't even his heart, it was his stomach. So that was terrible. And then you had the standoff with Rhodey and Nick Fury, and I'm just so upset that we got to learn nothing about Rava. I mean, zero motivation for why they betrayed Nick Fury earlier than they technically did. Zero depth to the Skrull that stole Rhodey for the last 10 years. And then she just dies.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so that's it. That's over. You just needed to shoot him in the head. I don't know. It's just,
and it maybe it'd be cool if it did go back further than
right.
Because I was seeing something even today, like this is not confirmed. I've not read anything, but it was saying like confirmed, he was taken over after, around Falcon and Winter Soldier, as opposed to like before that. I was
seeing that from a fan page. But
okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
But still, like people were breaking down like, and I know it's a lot. Like it's a lot to plan for something like this. But like they were saying in Endgame, you clearly see Rhodey's bleeding red.
Yeah, you do. Which is bad.
Sure. And I guess if you had this plan the whole time,
but they didn't,
which they probably didn't.
I mean, like from what we hear is that they talked about it back in like 2014, 2015 with Don Cheadle, and Don Cheadle was like totally game for it. But then I don't think they ever thought about it again until this. So
maybe,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it is cool, the concept that Rhodey was a Skrull for the last 10 years, but I think there are moments that are now a little diminished because it wasn't real Rhodey, and like him and Nebula. I love that scene where they get to relate to one another, and then you have Tony's death in an Endgame, and he's the first one there, and you're like, and someone argues about the fact that like Rava in those 3 years, or I guess actually Rava in those 7 years, probably built a really strong relationship with Tony and was actually emotional at the end. And I was like, yeah, sure, maybe.
I mean, she has all those memories.
Sure, she does. And she got a lot of new ones with him. So it's possible. I don't hate it, but I am excited.
But
going.
Why couldn't we?
Yeah,
like you were saying.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we learn more about that scroll?
Yeah. Right. Because now it feels like there's no explanation for why he was a scroll the last 10 years. It's just he was, and now we got to deal with the consequences, which are cool consequences. But I don't know. I need more depth, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also upset that there's this just random throwaway line at the end where they're like, yeah, the Kree are open to negotiating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? How did you hear that? Why? Why are they open to negotiating? I don't know.
And I think this is gonna tie directly into the Marvels somewhat.
I'm almost
very loosely, probably.
I will almost be surprised though if it does, because it feels like the MCU's planning is at like an all-time low. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess at the least, I expect to see Nick Fury's wife in space, and I think that might be all we see. I don't know.
There's just too. I just don't know how I'm supposed to believe most stories after this,
right?
Being like, oh, life is somewhat normal, and we're not, and like, let's not talk about any of the stuff
Earth
that's
is
happening.
In full chaos.
Earth is.
On so many levels. Yeah.
More than ever before.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're just supposed to, I don't know, skip to like a Daredevil show where like maybe there'll be some stuff addressed. I feel like it's going to be its own thing.
Yep.
And I'm just like, can we please get, I feel like they should have an Avengers movie to like, clean up everything.
That's what I was saying. Like I think Phase 4 needed one at the end. Like I think every phase needs an Avengers movie to end it. And it's the universe is lost without it.
And I think I'm buying more and more into the I still doubt, like part of me doesn't think they'll do this, but I am thinking maybe I think it's a lot of people's like wishful thinking, but they're saying after Secret Wars it'll be like a bit of a reset.
I mean, from everything Bob Iger's saying is that, they're scaling back and
but that doesn't
evaluating content. Sure. But it does mean, I think, less amount of content, which is good.
Content is content. It's just, it has to be good. Like
I
it
feel
has
you.
Like if there's a lot of it, as long as it's good.
But we wouldn't.
But like if it's even if it's less, which it's been this year,
right?
Secret Invasion was not, and Loki coming up, like the trailer looked cool,
but Secret Invasion also looked great. The trailer, so
I don't know what to think.
Yeah, no, I'm just
like, well,
I'm kind of excited. I guess
I'll watch it.
Yeah,
and if it excites me, cool. I mean, I did like the first season.
Yeah, me too.
But
that was genuinely for me the last actual like solid good Marvel show. I know you would probably put Miss Marvel in there, but
but like the ending, I know the ending of Miss Marvel is but
yeah,
I still think it's way more solid than everything else.
I would agree. Like that's the best thing since Loki for an MCU show. Yeah. But that's not saying a whole lot. But yeah, I think that's our thoughts on Secret Invasion finale. We're really negative. I know after episode 3, I was like, well, we'll see how this goes. It's looking good. And no. It did not end up good.